put a little hurt on me.
Rag and Bone Man, Put a Little Hurt on Me on BBC Radio London, 4:51. I think it's fair to say, isn't it, that all of us are affected by technology. Many of us cannot live without it, especially social media. And we started this segment last year. It was so successful. I was really keen to continue it. And I'm really delighted to say that we've got our first ever Ready Tech Go for 2025 with our resident technology and social media expert, James Erskine, who's been bringing the latest news in the world of technology and social media. Thanks for staying with me, James. Now, you had set out the context of what's been happening in the first 14 days of 2025. Really, British public life reverberated with the impact of Elon Musk's tweets. Just that. But
yes,
my question here, which I think a lot of Londoners want to know, why on earth is Elon Musk so interested in this little island of ours?
It's funny, isn't it? To speculate on somebody's future, I think it does a lot of favours if you look at people's past.
Okay, sure.
And Elon Musk is a curious beast. I read a book over the festive season called Character Limit, which is a great title for a book about Elon Musk, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really focused on the makings of Elon Musk. So the companies that he's been involved with and created, whether you look at PayPal, Tesla, they're technology based, they're future looking.
Got you.
But what he has always wanted is people to dance to his tune. He has never wanted to rule a company by democracy. He's never wanted to create a board. He has always wanted people around him that agree with him. When he first took over Twitter and renamed it X, X was actually a company that he had first come up with a name when he was in his early 20s. And he just thought it was a cool name. And he immediately got rid of people that surrounded the Twitter board, the X board, that disagreed with him. So he likes being in control. Now, what's happened in America is he has become a political figure. No longer is he just the richest person in the world. He's going to be one of the most powerful. He's been given a government department, albeit a government department that didn't exist before.
But newly created for him.
Which is quite something. So why does he want to get involved in UK politics? Well, one, he sees the UK, I think, as a decent testing ground and somewhere where he can manipulate. You know, I found out something fascinating many years ago that in the music industry, they often experiment with the UK audience first.
Really?
Because it's a smaller market to get across.
Okay.
So there's a band that are getting back together this year called the Scissor Sisters, who I love
them.
There you go. They became really big in the UK, even though they're an American band.
That's right.
And never made it in the US. But this is almost like their home country. Well, politically, I think if you're communicating similar messages across a test audience, it helps that we, and he is English speaking too, I think he is playing with power. The fact that he has so much influence over here with owning a social network, I mean, it's the smallest mainstream social network. It's dwarfed by Meta, by YouTube, by TikTok, but it still has influence. It still has
it's not gone
conversation.
Away, has it?
It's not gone away. It's changed, but
it's not
gone away.
I mean, it's fair to say some people now find X to be somewhat of an echo chamber, which is why many have decided to leave.
Completely.
Comparatively to where it was, let's say, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, where everyone from any background was on it, saying whatever they felt. It has really changed. If we stay in the vein then of the world of social media, Meta is abandoning the use of independent fact checkers on Facebook, on Instagram.
Yes.
This has been really contentious, replacing them with X-style community notes when commenting on the accuracy of posts. It's left to users. So why is Mark Zuckerberg doing this now?
My hunch is that this is political. We saw last week that Nick Clegg left Meta.
Yeah.
And that should have triggered alarm bells. the person stepping into Nick Clegg's role, which for those that don't know was head of global affairs, so kind of communications.
Okay.
And I theorise that Nick Clegg was not comfortable the direction that Meta were going to go in. Immediately, Nick Clegg was replaced by somebody with a following and a heritage in the Republican Party. Zuckerberg donated circa $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration budget.
Okay.
And what he has started saying following a meeting at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort is he has started making comments that I think Donald Trump would find favourable. If you look at it on he's taken the content team out of California in America, a Democrat state, and put them into Texas. He has taken the content team and they are now not going to be looking and fact-checking the content on Facebook. And in his press release, his video press release, he said we're going back to what he termed our roots. But he basically said that what they are looking to do is allow people to communicate things on Facebook, on Instagram, that won't be fact-checked. Now, this is huge because...
What's your thoughts on this? Is this alarming, or is this actually the way of the world now with social media? Because it used to be that way before.
Yeah, I think it's relatively alarming. Now, there are some facts here and some context here. Proportionally, in Germany, Facebook hires a lot more content moderation people than in anywhere else in the world. And that's because the German rules on hate speech are a lot tougher than anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
And what's interesting is, remember, the First Amendment only applies to the USA. So you're going to have an issue getting this around the globe.
Sure.
But again, regulation of social media is so tough to do around the globe.
Does that mean then, just finally, it's going to come down to our governments, to legislation, to lawmakers here as to what impact social media has in our lives?
Yes.
Because although we are a global community, that's what this is about, isn't it?
Shay, you've hit the nail on the head. What's going to be, I think, a key trend for 2025 is the regulation of social media.
Right.
Because we've seen it on X, on Twitter. We've seen misinformation and disinformation.
Yes.
What we're going to start to see is misinformation and disinformation across the meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
People may think I'm very old-fashioned talking about Facebook. Facebook is huge in markets like India. So it's still really big internationally. So it is a big deal. So what that means is potentially I can post something that is not true on my Instagram account.
Right.
And the only thing that will stop that is other community members saying
that's
this
wrong.
Isn't true, that's wrong.
Its onus is back on the user.
Exactly. And technology works with algorithms.
Right.
Now, you may know a site called Wikipedia.
Yes.
They have spent years building up this community notes where they can track which accounts are changing certain pages. And it will take time for Facebook and Instagram to get that right. So, yeah, regulation is going to be absolutely key.
Stay with me. Thank you so much, James Erskine, our social media expert. There's a top story I'll be discussing with him, which many are talking about, all around the TikTok ban in the US and the possibility of it all. Stay with us as we discuss that. And of course, we'll be giving you the latest